Hello, this is Ari with Modern Telecom. I'm here to talk to you about the Yealink T53 and T54 telephones. On the screen of your phone, all these soft keys up here are speed dial numbers to your colleagues. This button down here in the corner is a More button that will change the screen to bring up more buttons. So for example, when I push this, now the backlight comes on, but now you can see different names or different buttons as we've programmed them. So some of the notable buttons we put in here that are not speed dials are parking, page, and closed. So what the parking button is going to do is that is a type of hold button that will allow you to retrieve the call from a different phone. So for example, if I call an extension, so we're on the phone, and if I were to put this person on hold, the call is only on hold on this phone only. If I go to a different phone, I won't be able to retrieve that call. However, I'll resume it. If I park the call, you'll see that the actual call gets disconnected from this phone. So it's no longer on hold on this phone. Instead, that person's been stored into a parking spot, and the light is blinking on this phone. On all other phones in your organization, that same light will be blinking to indicate that you could go to any phone and answer the call by pushing that button. So for example, I'll just push this button right now to take the person off park. And now I've retrieved that call. This would work from any phone in the office. To transfer a call to a colleague, if we're in a phone call, okay, and now we want to transfer this call to somebody else, I would push the transfer button, and then I could either push the extension of the person I want to transfer to, or I could type it in manually. So I'm going to just type it in manually that I want to transfer to extension 99, and then I'm going to push the blind transfer button. That's it. Transfer operation completed. That person has now been transferred. The closed button that's on here, when I push this,
Night service activated.
it's basically going to engage a mode where the phone will no longer ring at your office. So it will take calls that come in that would be maybe after hours and send them directly to an after hours auto attendant or a voicemail greeting. So in the morning, you would turn this off.
Night service deactivated.
And now you're back in business, so to say. There's another feature that's notable you might want to use, which is called the DND. It stands for Do Not Disturb. When you've pushed this button, you'll notice it now says DND on the screen. For other people in the organization, if you've got them on the speed dial on other phones, it'll light up the light next to that person to let them know that you're busy or not to be disturbed. And this phone will no longer receive phone calls. Now, the other phones in the company will receive phone calls, but just not this phone. To turn that off, you would push Do Not Disturb. So this is the kind of feature you would use if you're in a meeting and don't want your phone to ring, just temporarily. This is different than the closed button that we put up here, because this button is going to shut down all the phones in the company from ringing, and the Do Not Disturb is just going to shut down just the one phone from ringing. The next feature I'm going to show you is to do a page. This paging button over here, when I push that, will record a message that you say, and then when you hang up the phone or disconnect, it will then broadcast that out to all the other phones in the office. So here's an example. This is a test page. This is a test page. Now you'll notice I used the X button to hang up, even though it also says on the screen that there's a disconnect button. There are 3 ways that you can disconnect a call. So you can either hang up the receiver, you can go over here to end call, or you can push the X button. Actually, another way is you can also just turn off the speakerphone, which is lit up green. All of those methods will hang up the call for you. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how the company directory feature works. On all the phones, you'll notice there's a directory button here. Pushing that will bring up the internal extension directory for all the phones in the organization. You can now search by typing in somebody's name on the keypad, or just use the up and down arrows until you land on somebody that you want to call. once you've got to the person that you want to call in the organization, you can just press the call button on the screen or the OK button. So I'll just push call here. And that's it. It will ring the other person's phone. If you want to check your voicemail, there's a button down here that's a picture of an envelope. When you push that, it'll bring you into the voicemail system.
You are calling your mailbox for the first time. To identify your extension,
To adjust the volume of the ringer of the phone when you're not in a phone call, just use this dial down here. And that will adjust the ringer. While you're in a phone call, using this volume will adjust the volume of the actual handset. And if you're on speakerphone, using this volume will adjust the volume of the speakerphone. Finally, I should note that the T54 phone and the T53 phone operate in exactly the same way, so a demonstration of this phone is not really necessary. The only difference is the larger screen that's in color, but all the functions and features are the same. All right, that's everything, guys, and any questions, you can reach out to us at any time. Thank you.